Hey guys, Nick with Nick's Homestead, and today we have a Bilt Pony 42 Bravo 7-speed. Now this is the single speed transaxle unit with the gear selector lever right here. And the issue that I'm having out of this is there's a loud whining whenever you're driving it. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and start this unit up. I'll move it around and you guys can see what we're talking about. Now guys, I have been looking into this issue because the issue we've had out of this mower is whenever you're mowing up in hill, you're going up an incline, you're doing anything along those lines, it wants to act like it's stalling out, it won't move up the hill, and it won't do anything. So I did some research. I spoke to several certified technicians with Bilt, and this is what they have told me. Now this here is a variable speed pulley. As you can see, this one has movement. Now this part right here, this is the part number 656-04015. This is the upgraded one. It was $34.99. I know you could get it cheaper somewhere else, but the local parts store near me had it, so I said, you know what, I'll go ahead and get it. Now, I will go ahead and show you guys what you need to do to change this part out. And it's not that difficult. It's not that hard. I've seen a lot of conflicting information online on what you can and what you should do. And if this is all you're doing, guys, I'll show you the simplest, easiest way to do it. Alright, so come to the back of the mower. First thing you're going to want to do is remove your battery terminals. Get your battery out the way. But I want to go ahead and show you guys super quick while I'm under here. Right here is your bearing race and cup. All this holds that variable speed pulley on there. Now, if you look at the bottom of that thing's beat. That thing has honestly been through it. This whole assembly is screaming. It's honestly not good. So we're going to go ahead and change out that pulley, and we're going to show you guys how to do that today. First things first, you're going to come over to your little handy-dandy tool cabinet if you have one of those, and you're going to look for the right tool that you need, which is going to be this here little 7/16. I believe that's what this is. Let me just make sure. Yep, it's a 7/16. Come over to your battery. Go ahead and disconnect the negative terminal first. It might help if you're not holding a camera and a phone at the same time like I am. All right, and once you get your negative disconnected, pretty self-explanatory, go ahead and do the positive and get the positive disconnected and loose. Now, one thing that I like to do is I will put the screw and nut back inside of the battery terminals themselves, and these little springs that cushion the seat itself, I just kind of stuff them in there. Now, what you're going to want to do is take this little piece right here off, which what I find is I just use my 7/16 right here, bend it over that way, pop it right up, save your fingers a little bit of hell, and then pull your battery on out and set that battery off to the side. Now, as you can see, you have two belts right here. This is your main transaxle belt. The top belt's your main transaxle belt. Now, I have seen where people say you should remove the spring right over here, take this spring out, do all that. I'm going to show you guys something. You guys are going to find this crazy. You see this? You can move this entire assembly with one hand. You don't need to remove that spring. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you take that spring out, you're going to be fighting with yourself for at least 20 minutes in this cramped space trying to get that out. Now, as far as the actual drive belt connecting to the front of the mower, that's a different story. That one, honestly, you don't have to disconnect it, which what I've also seen people say. You come up front, you disconnect the crank pulley up front, all this stuff right here has to come out. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't have to do that either. I'll show you why. Now guys, what I did was I took one hand, I pulled this pulley to the left and took a flathead / chisel style screwdriver and popped that top belt off. And then all you have to do is just take it and get it off the guards on the back here for this V pulley. And you're basically good to go. Let's say this rear pulley, your main V pulley, don't disconnect the belt from it. You're going to have hell with it. You're going to be fighting yourself. Just disconnect from the idler pulley and the variable speed pulley. Because if you listen to this, that thing is shot. That thing is gone, guys. So what we're going to do next, all you're going to do is just slide those two belts or the bottom belt up past that little guard right here. Let me put my phone down for a sec. Like so. We'll set that belt off to the side. Now, some people say you need to disconnect this spring here, all this and that. If all you're doing is removing this variable speed pulley, guys, you really don't need to worry about it. But this thing has very little movement, and I'm not trusting it, and it looks very wore down. So, we'll go from there, guys. So all I did was I took a pair of vice grips, clamped it onto the top of this here pulley, and I'm using a 1/2 inch socket on a 3/8 drive for that bottom bolt on the bottom to take out the pulley. All right, so once we have our bolt out of the bottom of the carrier, we can take it and we can set it right there in the cup holder. And then we're gonna take our C-clamp right here, slash our vice grips. God's perfect tool in my opinion. We're gonna lift this whole racing bearing out. Now, this one didn't seem too terrible, but I can see it's got some scoring going on here. And I can see where the belts are basically just eating the crap out of it, especially right here. You can really see it. Now, if we compare this to our new variable speed pulley, no scoring, and it's not wore down super thin. Now, if we look at our old one, this thing is wore down pretty good, and this is directly from Troy Bilt, you guys. This is from Troy Bilt. And they want $140 for that. I paid $34. Anyway, let's drop this new one in, and before we do that, we want to inspect the bearings themselves right down in here. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to feel with my fingers if there's any scoring, any scorching. They seem to be moving pretty freely. Nothing wrong there. Cool. Now, what I like to do is I'm going to take a little bit of bearing grease itself. I'll put down in there, and I'll put a little bit on here. Alright, guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this here high temperature wheel bearing grease. I'm going to stick my finger in here. Take a little glob like this. And I want to just put a small layer around the inside of these bearings. Just a thin layer. Now, once we have that, we'll take a little glob of it. Don't need a whole lot. I'm going to move most of this off my fingers. And what you want to do is just kind of smear it around on the race itself. That way it gets a good coating. Any excess will be okay. You can just either leave it or do like I do and just put it back in the container. Alright guys, so reinstalling is the opposite of removing. We're going to take our pulley, put the race itself down into that center hole. I'm going to try and do this all one-handed, like a psycho. And you just drop it down on there, like so. And then you'll go up under your mower, thread your bolt on in, and then you'll have to obviously do the same like we did with uninstalling. You'll have to put a C-clamp or a pair of vice grips on there, clamp it down, let it hit something, and grab on. Alright guys, once you finish tightening up your transaxle bolts to the force of Zeus and God himself, you'll take out your handy dandy C-clamp slash pair of vice grips, as I like to call them. Now what we're going to do, and this is what I recommend doing first. You know that the drive belt for the belts and all that has to go on first. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll reinstall our deck belt and all that good fun jazz first, which shouldn't be too difficult. Now guys, what I did to make it easier on myself to reinstall that bottom was I pulled up on the pulley like that. That way it would, you know, go on easier. Now we'll reinstall the pulleys going the direction first of our transaxle pulley, and then we'll reinstall it on the idler pulley itself, which will be fun. Alright guys, once you have all that done, you should be good to go to put your battery back in and then fire your unit back up and give it a test. Alright guys, here we go. As we can see, it's pulling just fine now. In comparison, it really was not pulling worth a crap. As far as that whining noise goes, that's coming from that V pulley. I need to get it and replace it sometime. But the variable speed pulley has been replaced. I need to get a deck guard put back on this one. Aside from that, guys, that is how you replace that whole assembly without the bull crap. If you guys enjoyed, please leave me a like, subscribe, and if you wouldn't mind, leave me a comment and tell me if it helped you.